Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Bleav.
For fans wanting more than just the score, Warhawk Report dives deeper into ULM athletics with expert analysis, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and real-time updates. Whether you are a diehard fan or just curious about the Warhawks, we've got you covered. Subscribe today at warhawkreport.com. Smart coverage, real insights, all Warhawks. warhawkreport.com.
Doesn't matter if you're an Indian or if you're a Warhawk.
The ULM mention is the greatest. You'd hope for the best as a ULM fan, but
this is the Bleav in the Warhawks podcast with hosts Dusty Thibodeaux and Chase Regian.
Chase, you always have such great insight.
Tibbs is going to bleep it all.
What are these guys always talking about?
We talk a lot about food on this podcast, and I'm going to continue to do so.
Really, really appreciative of the people and the community and the way that they've backed us up.
Nailed the introduction, by the way. Awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Fish.
it.
Chase, we can start as soon as I finish this bowl of rice.
Well, it's staying with us for at least another year.
At least another year. I will say this. I love the trophy. I love the rivalry and everything. Mm-hmm. I wish it would be kind of a best of the major sports, right? That you got to win in baseball, men's, women's basketball, football. We win automatically in softball because they don't sponsor softball. So,
okay, not a bad idea. So you're saying like winner takes all for the whole school, not just for the football game.
Not just football. Or you do like the Iron Bowl. And, okay, you win the Iron Bowl, if you're Auburn, you beat Alabama or vice versa. But the trophy is not presented until that home team's men's basketball game.
Okay, I like that. It's pretty cool.
That way, you get a little love for the other sports as well to kind of create that atmosphere, just like it was Saturday in Malone Stadium.
Absolutely. Rocking 21,000 people. Isn't that wild?
And, of course, there was the Twitter memes of looks like half your stadium is dressed up as bleachers.
I love that. I love saying that on radio. We've got a lot of fans dressed as seats tonight.
I don't care what the attendance is. I mean, at the end of the day, I really don't. As long as we're making money off of ticket sales, right? Yep. I don't care if you go to the game. As long as the rambunctiousness is alive and well in like the south end zone.
Yeah, and the student section, which both really filled in about 10 minutes into the game, but whatever.
Yeah.
At least they came.
As long as those areas are checking the boxes and maybe the skybox so that way you're keeping your boosters, your money happy.
Yeah.
I don't care if the attendance is 3,000. Sure.
I agree 100%. Although, has to stay above a certain point, but regardless, it was I would say that pregame wasn't very you talk about rambunctious environments. Pregame was meh, and then about everybody got in there right after kickoff. It was pretty hype for the first play, and then the second play, and then the third play the place went silent after Hayden threw the pick six, but still was took a little bit for the fans to get back in the game, but still was pretty fun. Always fun when you got reunion, homecoming, much different stuff going on. So I think it all kind of came together at a good time for him.
Chase, we had the chance to win an even bigger award than the Rice Bowl. And you can thank yours truly for the nomination.
Okay.
We were a nominee for the Pop-Tarts Team of the Week.
Has that already been announced? Did we not get it?
We did not.
Never.
It was Virginia. Virginia with their win over FSU.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I wish we would have stormed.
We were
the field.
A nominee.
I was way wrong with what I told you on the sidelines about how much it is. By the way, I didn't figure it out, but I know it's not $100,000.
I told you it wasn't.
Yeah. I said it with real conviction, like I knew what I was talking about. But I really would have loved to see a good rush of the field.
I legit don't know if the Sun Belt fines institutions or not. I would think they do out of safety, but I really don't know if there is a fine for it.
Have you ever seen it happen on a Sun Belt game?
Yeah. Back when we beat North Texas, it happened.
1970.
It was the 2000s.
2005? Steven did it, huh?
No, I don't think it was 05. Maybe it was. I don't remember. I just remember it was against North Texas because it's like we finally beat them.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's what I don't know about for other people, but Saturday was just a culmination of so much misery of our football program just expressed in one win.
Are we done winning for the year, Chase?
No, we need to go back to beating some P4 teams here. I had heard the last time we did that was I did that at Wake or against Wake, huh? 2014.
Yeah.
We need to go back
last
to that.
P4 victory.
And they're just as bad as Wake was in 2014. So let's hope for the best.
I will say that I heard through the grapevine that there might have been a little friction between defensive coordinator Ernest Hill and offensive coordinator Brian Vincent this week. When they started watching the film of Northwestern, that there were some 4-letter expletives yelled at Vincent going, I got to defend your damn offense this week too. Meaning that the Northwest offense is very close to what ULM is going to do with the inside outside reads. The run the ball, grind. So he was not happy that it was basically going to be practice all week against it, and then I got to do it on Saturday as well.
So this could be a very boring ass game, is what you're telling me to most people.
Bet the way under.
That's our pick. That's our lock of the week, huh? Is the under.
Bet the way under. I mean, we're talking, 17-3 or
right.
or 14-10,
right.
Something just crazy.
Real excited to watch a 4-hour slugfest between two teams that their definition of opening up the offense is running a B gap inside zone instead of an A gap inside zone.
That's Big Ten football, though.
I know it. And hey, you know what? Northwestern been doing that for 200 years, so don't see why that would change now. Randomly have just all pro Hall of Fame offensive linemen, whatever.
I mean, if it works, why break it?
It hasn't worked for them though. They've been the ULM of the Big Ten since they joined.
That hurts, Chase.
I know it. It hurts to say out of my mouth. Been the Vanderbilt of the SEC. It just every now and then these people are good, right?
But you try to dog Vandy a little bit. But what's the best character on the SEC shorts other than the ULM mentioned?
Got to be the pimp, dude. 100%. I agree. Absolutely. Not ashamed to say every single Monday, Mike Hammett sends that in our radio group text, and I watch it every single week.
And this week it was even better, where Bama is boastfully getting in their car after beating Georgia and adjust the rearview mirror to see him sitting in the back seat.
It's genius. Hey, good for Vandy. They've always felt like they had the tools, just like we do. Not like Northwestern does, but just like we do.
Well, we'll preview Northwestern later on this week. We do have a good guest lined up later this week. Don't want to tip it too far there, Chase.
Okay.
But overall, getting the quick pulse check. How are you feeling? Sitting at 3-1, going last non-conference game at Northwestern at their temporary Riverside Stadium. Do you feel pretty good, or are you a little worried about this game and its potential to beat up maybe a thin or fragile team already?
Well, since we're previewing them later in the week, I'll just focus on us of where I think we're at right now. And I think that 3-1 was a really realistic expectation for where we should be. Bama was always going to be an impossible hill to climb, especially since they can now publicly pay players. sorry, Coach Saban. And where I like this team is the ability to run the ball. Still something we can do. I think it's really great. I was really impressed with our offensive pass protection this game. If you think back at that game, Aiden had a lot of time to watch. I, of course, really loved the step up that our defensive line took. I think 6 sacks. Obviously, they had 5 new starting offensive linemen, and they were pretty poor on the offensive line. Probably the worst I've seen in the Sun Belt in a long time. I really love the way that D'Arco Perkins McAllister has made that move out to corner, and the way that the secondary, they were pretty poor, obviously, against Bama and not great against UTEP. And they kind of took a half step forward, which was great. I think that where I'm frustrated with this team is the same thing I said in the post-game show, which is things like operational issues and penalties are your own fault, and things where you beat yourself. And so I'm more scared that this team will continue to beat itself throughout the season than I am we just get blown out again like we did at Bama.
Even though I agree with you about the operational stuff. But once again, if it's working, do we break it? Because sure, we're burning timeouts left and right, but maybe that's just what Elijah Fisher and company need, is that quick little 30-second, 2.5-minute break to kind of gather themselves and make that extra block on that drive, or on the defensive side, the same thing with one of the defensive front. Is it really that big of an issue? I agree that it could bite us. It will bite us, but it hasn't yet.
Yeah, it hadn't yet, but you saw it last year. Marshall really bite us, and I think that it's just a simple fact that it does not help you win football games. I can't wrap my head around how it would. I'm okay with the first quarter timeouts. That's fine. They have a lot less impact as you move on, and you spend 2 in the first quarter, 1 in the second. Hey, we don't. At this point, I feel like this team is known for using its timeouts, so we're gonna use them. It's the first drive in the third quarter timeout that will screw you through this game. Now, Tibbs, we don't have some great 2-minute offense. All right, it's not that we've really seen it, to be fair, but it's not something I would foresee as a strength of this team. But I think it's just poor clock management. It's just, I really don't want to point fingers at BV, and I don't want to be that guy, but he's got a lot on his plate. And if I've started watching him of when he'll call the plays, 15 seconds left. That takes another 6 seconds to get ran to, and then Aiden will take his time. And I think that's the next step Aiden needs to take, and that's the next step BV needs to take. You clean that up, and not all of your problems are solved by any chance on offense, but you stop shooting yourself in the foot a little bit.
Do we play up tempo a little bit, or maybe junior high where we send in the receiver with the play to relay to the quarterback? I mean, and I say that
Aiden run to the sideline,
and half serious. But I mean, is that something that maybe we do, even though we know that that's kind of detrimental, right? Because if we sub, the defense gets a chance to sub.
Yeah, and even if you run towards the sideline with Aiden nowadays, they still get to sub, or should, as Auburn found out. I think I don't know. I don't think so. I think just BB's a real emotional guy there on the sidelines, and he will be hooting and hollering the whole time. And I think that's awesome. That's what you want out of head coach. I think the easy fixes are you get an OC, or you just have somebody else call plays. If you don't want to call him OC, let Cody Wells call plays. He did this. You coached him in high school. He was your high school quarterback and high school head coach. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if you go to signs. If you you kind of adopt some things of a hurry up offense, like random duck toys and numbers being shown on the sidelines. You can do things like that. Maybe mix in some quick plays that you have. We had one when Steve Farmer was ours called Pistol. Just Pistol was inside zone to the left. That's all it was. Pistol and Rifle. Rifle was inside zone to the right. And so if you hear that at Lafayette, that's where it is. And I think you can start to mix in some things like that just be able to. You need a 5 to 7 second play, which we do not have right now.
So my question to you is severalfold. Do you think Steve Farmer still runs that at Lafayette? And then also, do you think that BV and company are still kind of scared, paranoid, whatever you want to call it, with the whole Michigan sign stealing, and if any of that has trickled to the Sun Belt?
I don't think Steve calls plays. He's a great mind to have as your offensive line coach. You know, the guy's coached in the Sun Belt for over a decade now and has coached Division I football for probably 2 decades. Sorry, Steve, not calling you old. And so no, I don't think he's doing that. But you got to think that he does influence. He for sure influences that offense one way or another. And I don't think you're worried about sign stealing. To be honest, I don't know if these schools have the resources to do that. I mean, you're going to have to, you got to have somebody that knows exactly what they're doing, watching in the right time. And then, you know, I mean, they kind of change up when you run signs like that. They change up a little bit every year, or they change every year. Sometimes they change every few weeks because you're looking at the sign, sure, but the sign tells you a concept. And if you're explaining the concept behind your offense and teaching your players offenses and football, like the depths of football, a rifle and then I shouldn't have tried to come up with an analogy right there. That hurt my head. 2 similar pictures that might have a common theme are what's going to make you realize, oh, this is the play, or I'm running this route, or et cetera, et cetera. Now, it simplifies your offense, and I don't think we have a super complicated offense in the first place. So I think it might be able to fit. But Tibbs, thank the good Lord I don't get paid to coach football.
Are you saying you don't have the itch? You don't want to jump back in?
I have never, ever, ever contained that itch. Absolutely not. I'd go, hey, St. Fred's, you need no line coach? I'll go do that.
There we go.
We'll run the
Coach
triple
Reagan.
Oh, God dang it. Hey, we didn't talk about this, Tibbs. Shout out to Corey Crow, man. 300 games. What an accomplishment. He's been a champion for that university. I'm super proud of him. Glad to call him a friend.
I wish they would have let him play his harmonica during his celebration.
You could tell he was kind of tearing up, and was, if you haven't listened to his interview with Mike Hammett on Mike Hammett's podcast, it was really great. And Corey's gone through a lot, especially in the last 2 years. So him to still make the games is wild. Now, I will tell you another quick story, so you don't ask me one for later. He can't, really move his arm up very high because of his heart issues. And also he's got the old man groans. And so at all points in our car ride, not like this. You hit a small rock on the road, you hear Corey in the back go, meh. Meh. He'll move behind me. He sits right behind me. And oh, dude, I'm sorry to keep going here. And I, for some reason, after all these games, after my adrenaline passes, after we eat food, I have gas so bad. And I just constantly shit on him. And you'll hear him go back, go, meh, smells awful.
Oh, that's
shout
terrible.
out to Corey. Congratulations, my friend.
That is pretty amazing. And like somebody was asking me, 300 in a row, that's got to be some kind of a record. And my only thing was maybe there's some like obscure D3 NAI school, some guy that was a student and then graduated and they hired him full time and went through the years. That's the only way that record could really possibly be beat.
Corey says he knows one person, and that's a media guy with Bama who's on 500 and well into his 80s. Now, Corey's we can document. I don't know if we can document that, guys.
Well, I mean, it's Bama, so that means he's probably been doing it for at least 1,000 straight years.
But then has he gone to every – that's what I'd like to ask guy. Have you gone and worked 300 straight games? It's an insane accomplishment. Well, what? He's been doing it since when? Since when you started school and finished school. So between those 8 years, how many games is that? That's a good amount of them.
Yeah, but I want to say there were a couple of years we only had like 4 or 5 home games.
That wasn't his 300th home game.
Right.
That was his 300th consecutive, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Good for
Home
him.
games is wild. 300 home games is crazy. I don't know if he'll reach that.
Well, and you think also going back to 2005, he got to call a game against Tulane, or with Tulane as the home team when they were homeless, and played all 11 games in different stadiums.
Very cool. Honestly, he's such a pro. I'm sure he killed it. Iconic voice. Iconic. It's third down. Could you do it? Could you be a PA announcer?
No, my voice would crack. It'd be like, it's third down.
And I'll give people a tip. Everybody's like, oh man, you have to find the names and this and that. Nope. He goes off of what Mike Hammett says. He keeps the radio in his ear, so he listens to us the whole game, and he'll say it right after Hammett says it. And I would love that. What a great tip, because it's already a hard enough job, but he'll double check Mike sometimes, or he'll be ahead of Mike. But for the most part, yeah, he's got a lot of help, and he doesn't have a lot of help, and he does a great job with it.
Here's the pro tip there for you there, Chase, of how I cover games.
Mm-hmm.
I usually have the radio feed on, streaming off my phone,
Okay.
in my headset, watching the game on my iPad via the ESPN Plus, because it's usually a play behind. And that way I can watch the play live of what happened. And if there's a flag or a blown assignment, I can then see who was responsible for it there.
You're saying like when you're not at the games, that's how you listen to it?
Even in the press box. That's how I do it.
Really?
Yeah.
When I'm not at the games, I will listen on the TuneIn app. No free ads, but TuneIn app is the only place you can pause the game. Because if I don't watch them sync up, Tibbs, my autism goes insane. I cannot stand it. So they have to be on the same level. So my wife gets pissed because we'll be in the living room and I'm pausing it the whole time and then playing it and then pausing it and playing it and pausing it and playing it. But by far a better way. I watched on my drive home, watched the Lafayette Marshall game. Great game, by the way. Whoever is the color commentator on TV should never do that again. Should absolutely never do that again. Absolutely not.
I don't even know who their color guy is. I know the play-by-play is Dan McDonald.
Oh, I thought, yeah. So, his first name started with a D. He was good. Play-by-play was fine. I had no issues with him. It's also real late at night, and I'm, tired as shit driving down 20. I'm just cussing this color commentator. She's like, I have no clue what's going on. Please stop.
How was your drive home? Was it good? Did you listen to the post-game show?
No. I watched Marshall in Lafayette, which took forever. We watched a little bit of Georgia, Bama. Didn't get home too late. Wasn't too bad. What about yours? You got home all right?
Crash and burn Saturday night. Got up Sunday, tired as all get out, but ground through and made it here. Listened to the post-game show. Listened to the special edition emergency podcast with Sickos Committee.
Yeah.
It was good times.
Hell yeah. We're grinding it, baby. We're about to that point where I start burning out a little bit, but blessed to be stressed. You know what they say, Tibbs? Pressure is a privilege.
So you're saying that you're not down for more content?
No, I'm down for tons of content. I'm just saying it's burning me out. I didn't say I wouldn't do it.
I don't know how I fight off the burnout. I think the biggest thing is that I just kind of grind through it all. I mean, and just power through.
Well, that's the thing is I like it. This really isn't. It's more of life and school burning me out. This is really this is my escape from it all. This is what I love. I mean, I wouldn't.
Because you don't have to edit it.
Yeah. And you have an hour longer drive than I do to Monroe, so you're right.
Thanks, Chase.
You're right. You're so right, dude.
On that note, Chase, because you think it's so funny, we're going to talk baseball.
Oh, God.
And I'm going to catch up or play the interviews that I had with head coach Ford Pemberton and shortstop outfielder Micah Dean, the transfer from K-State.
Very cool.
Oh, I'd say first off, the portal is it's a crazy experience as a baseball player. You kind of go out there and you have no parachute jumping out of a plane, and then you just hope you play well enough to get picked up. But had some great conversation with Ford and Coach Lartigue, and they just said some really good things that wanted me to be the dude here and try to make an impact, an impact portal transfer. So I was super stoked to be back in the South and just be close to home and try to make something happen.
When he called saying, "Hey, I just got the job at ULM," were you like, "Where?"
Yeah, I know of the area, but I knew it was in Louisiana, so I was happy about that. But yeah, I've never really heard about the school. We played a bunch of Sunbelt teams back at K-State, so I was familiar with the league. But I was kind of like, okay, let's just see where these conversations go.
Getting here on the Bayou, what's been your thoughts about ULM as you kind of settle in for class and then obviously getting ready for fall ball?
I'm loving the people and the schedule. I absolutely fell in love with who I'm working with and who I'm grinding with every single day. And so loving the environment, really good, strong community kind of feel on the campus. So that's what I love about being a Warhawk.
A lot of Texas kids, so it's kind of home for that standpoint. Do y'all kind of gel together, and it's Texas against Louisiana?
Yeah, well, I'd say for the most part we do. We got a good bunch, and we'll go home together every now and then, just because it's close and we live right there. But yeah, we've got a really good, strong bond on the team so far. All the Louisiana and Texas kids just link up.
What are some of y'all's early goals as y'all kind of still are really trying to find your identity and find what this team is really going to be like?
Right. I'd say it's been 5 weeks, and we've been trying to just reconstruct what it looks like to be a baseball player at ULM. Trying to have a lot of energy, play fast, play aggressive, and just be smart, be intelligent. So that's what I'd say we're building here.
It's a great area for food. What's been your staple that you've gone to? Bryce talked about going to Big Mama's house. Has he inducted you into the Monroe culture of food?
He definitely has. I would say I'm a huge Chipotle fan, first off, for fast food, and they've got a Javi piece here that I absolutely love. But the Catahoula's right on the bayou, great spot, great Louisiana food, and so I've gotten accustomed to the food, and I love it. It's great.
Biggest message for fans as y'all get ready to maybe kind of rebuild, knowing that last year was really a struggle here for baseball?
I would say with a brand new coaching staff, Ford is bringing a different level of energy and focus that last year didn't have, and all the players are hopping right on his back, and we're going for it. So it's going to be a great season and a lot to look forward to.
Baseball head coach Ford Pemberton. Has the dust kind of settled, or are you good to go now on the Bayou as you make your way into this first year at ULM?
Yeah, I feel like I'm settled in for the most part on the baseball side of things. I'm still working with the move and the family, and my family is here, and we're good to go. We're still getting settled in the house and everything. But on the baseball end, it's been great. I like where we are relative to our development. I think our bodies are really starting to look really good. That was the goal these first 6 weeks, to really, to get our hitters in the weight room 4 times a week, get them to put the right stuff in their body and a plan for how we want their bodies to look. The pitchers have been lifting 3 times a week, and it's just, I'm really pleased of where we are. And as these inter squads are about to start happening 3 days a week, I think we're fresh, I think we're healthy, and, that's the goal, to keep that through the fall. But really like where we are. When you think of the makeup of the team, you have portal transfers, you have freshmen, you have returners that had only been here for a year, you have returners that have been here for 3+ years. That's a different type of returner. And then obviously you have a junior college transfer. So it's been a really just trying to get everyone on the same page, whether it's terminology, just how we operate in the building, how we show up, our hours, what we're doing in between classes, how we handle ourselves right after a lift, and nutrition in the weight room, getting that, heading to class, getting back to the field after, whatever it may be, it's getting everybody just kind of rowing in the same direction. And so pleased so far. I've been so happy with our coaching staff. They've been exceptional. Coach Cox, Coach Schatzberger, Coach Lartigue, they've been wonderful. The support staff's been great. And so, it's one day at a time, take it one day at a time, and, like you said, get settled in as much as we can.
What's it been like trying to establish this culture? Because like you said, it's guys from all over the place, regionally, nationally, junior college, freshmen. transfer portal. How do you kind of start establishing that culture? What does that look like in that locker room right now?
In between the lines, they're able to fly around and play as fast as possible. I want our identity to just be fast and relentless, and I've just been kind of talking about to the team. I messaged to them today when we were finished with practice is, what does opposing coach say about us on Sunday after the series is done? I want him to look at the reporter and say, man, they were relentless. They pushed us to the brink. They really grinded us with 2 strikes. They took their hit by pitches. Their pitchers overwhelmed us for strikes. It was always 0-1, and they just had more energy than us. And so I want that to be our identity. We've talked about it. As far as the culture, I'm just not big into cliches and printing stuff on TV. Like, let's work on relevant baseball work. I don't want to reinvent the game. What's happening the most? Pitching, hitting, throwing. And that's just how we've kind of simplified. And I think the culture kind of takes care of itself. If you're organized, you're talking to your team, they know what to expect. You don't allow them to get comfortable. There's a routine, but they know how to adapt to whatever the change might be. And so I think it's been fine so far. It's just you got to be a really good year-to-year coach in this day and age in college athletics. And so we're trying to simplify everything, and I think the clubhouse for the most part has done a good job of getting on board. They're starting to speak the same language. I hear our terminology now from coaches is coming through the player, like player to player. I hear some things that I say maybe in passing or maybe just trying to be funny. I hear them starting to say it, and so we're all starting to talk alike, and it's good to see. We have a long way to go, but it's good to see.
What do you feel has maybe been the big challenge that you faced so far that maybe you weren't expecting with your first full-time D1 head coach job?
Man, I really don't know. Like, I don't know if there's been challenges. I just felt like I was always, it is my first year on paper, but I feel like through my lenses of just kind of observing the game and trying to be a really loyal assistant that wanted to be a head coach one day, I feel like I just kind of I was ready to attack everything, relative to fundraising off the field or communicating with your admin, ordering gear, whatever it may be. I've always kind of just had a hand in it. And so I really don't know to answer your question. It's just I just like being able to kind of set the tone for the week and set the schedule and not really coach out of a textbook, but see where our guys are and how they're moving. And, last week I thought they were exceptional on Monday and Tuesday, the way we practiced and the way we went about our business and how they were moving around in the weight room, where I gave them Wednesday off. And in those off hours, I peek out my window and there's guys on the field like working. They earned that day off, and they probably got more done up here on their off day, just wanting to be around each other, wanting to work. They got more work done that day than if we would have had practice. You know what I mean? And so, I haven't found a challenge yet, or maybe I'm just overlooking it, but it's been great. The energy in the community has been phenomenal. People wanting to help, people asking about our fundraising events that are all coming up. It's been really good. The challenge is I just want to be really good for our players every single day. And so I tell that to our staff over and over. I want to take care of our players. I want to communicate early on practice plans. I want them to know what we're doing. As soon as they wake up, they know exactly what's going to happen in their day. And so I'd say that's the biggest thing. The challenge is, and I think we're doing a good job of it on the coaching side. It's just having these guys organized and ready to go.
You got 2 big names, Jake Haggard and Bryce Blazer, coming back. What have they done to really kind of step into that leadership role and kind of put the past behind them and go forward and try to sell that vision of everyone buying in?
They've done a really good job of showing up every day and being consistent. Blazer's a veteran player. Hag is a veteran player. They've been at this level for a while, and so we sat down and we had some really honest. I had a very honest conversation with Jake Haggard, and I think he responded phenomenally. Those 2 guys. It's funny that you mentioned them. The last Friday, our 2-pitch game, kind of how we wrap up the week. We went early in the morning before 7:00, and those 2 guys were here and ready to go. And I called them out after. I told the team I thought 2 guys, when they walked into the park and from the first pitch of this controlled scrimmage, they were here. They took care of they got 3 to 4 ABs, and they each had 4 hits, and they were exceptional in defense, and the communication was great. So they've been good, and I think the returners they care about ULM. They were both in the portal, and they're here today, and so that means a lot to me. I think there's a loyal factor in this game that will reward them, and I've been very proud of them so far. And so, they can both be quiet at times, and you'll dig some stuff out of them. But for the most part, I've been really happy about how they've put their nose in and they get to work. Hag has done a exceptional job at third base, continuing to try to develop his game over there and learning how we want him to play it. One-handed, playing angles. Blazer he was really good today. I know you saw it out there. Made a really good catch at the track, made a good decision to throw the ball to second base and keep a double play in order. So they're veteran players. I need them to be veteran players, and so I've been happy with them so far.
Who are maybe some other players that are newcomers coming in that you feel can maybe kind of shine early on, and maybe fans will even get a chance to kind of see what that looks like for fall ball as that gets ready to get cranked up here in about the next month or so?
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of guys. I don't want to leave anyone out, but some guys that are standing out right away. I think Micah has been phenomenal. The transfer from Kansas State, just a nice offensive tools. Played center field there and moved down and played some infield and summer ball, and it kind of caught my eye. And we've brought him to shortstop, and Major is on the team as well, who is also a shortstop and started at shortstop last year. And those two have just been pushing each other all over the field. I'm so proud. Like, there's a competition at multiple positions, and that's what I really like. But, back to Micah Dean, can really run, has really good bat speed, has really picked up how to play shortstop a lot. And so that's going to be a battle. I don't know who will be there, but Micah Dean's been great. Davis Mosey, center fielder from Wichita State, has been flying around. I really like his speed element. I like his attitude. His body is nice, athletic, wiry frame that's starting to get a lot of muscle on it, and I really like it. I think he can be good for us. Jake Griffith, who's a transfer from a D2 national champion, Tampa. He's come here and he's been in center field as well, flying around and just he plays like a veteran. I really like him. And so there's a handful. We got some freshmen now that they don't look like freshmen. They're in there flying around. You saw them today. Dean Hanna, Gavin Price, Garrett Weethorn. It's been a Roark, a local kid from West Monroe. I don't want to leave anybody out. They've been really, really good. Really, all our freshmen have really stood out to me. Those were good players. Those were players that we didn't sign, and they came here. Those are good ball players. Really like them. Broadnax on the mound, and so. There's some guys sticking out that fans will have a chance to see. We're going to have 2 exhibition games. Nice segue here. We'll have a exhibition game at Arkansas State, conference opponent. We're going to go up there and play 16 innings, and then we'll travel back that day, take Sunday off, and that Monday we'll be at home against McLennan Community College.
Also, on the mound, what does that look like as far as your pitching? Because we talked about kind of the defense, the bats. What do your arms look like?
The arms have been fine. So the live ABs, I've been standing in on bullpens. The live ABs were this week, and I think we have a chance to have there's some arm talent here. I think it's just a matter of getting more Division I innings under the belt as we go. So we have some nice junior college transfers. Like I said, there's a couple freshmen on the mound that are throwing. There's some guys that were running it up there the other day in the low to mid 9s, which I really want. I really like. I want our guys to attack, and so. Some guys that are standing out, Marsh, local guy, Neville kid, came from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Cannon Clayton, transfer from UNO, has been really nice and physical in the mound. I really like J.C. Dermody, lefty from Wichita State. But again, look, it's early. Like I'm talking about bullpens. I'm talking about live ABs. Our 3 inter squads next week are going to tell us exactly where we are right now on the mound. But the biggest thing is I want to see guys attack, and throw pitches with conviction. Whether it's the right pitch call or the wrong, throw it with conviction and establish an identity of just an attacking manner on the mound. So I like where we are. Obviously, there's always room for improvement at with every phase of this team, offense, defense, how we run the bases, how we communicate. And so, we're good there.
You mentioned fundraising as part of your duties there. You have a big fundraiser coming up there, the Whiskey Warhawks. Tell everybody about that event.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. Basically, I just wanted an opportunity for the community. So many people have been asking about the team when I'm out and about. And, look, we're going to have an inter squad this night. I believe it's October 16th. And people are going to start showing up about halfway through our inter squad. And I just want them to be able to see, 2 or 3 innings. I don't want to drag out. But just kind of see our guys flying around on the field like you did today. And, there's going to be really good food. Some drinks is obviously. And it's going to be an opportunity to just a very quick meet and greet with our players, and then they're going to get out of here. And basically, it's a chance for the community to get to know our staff and kind of our goals for this year relative to fundraising and what we're trying to do. There's a project in the works I feel really good about. I don't want to release it yet, but it's it's going to change our game day atmosphere for sure. So I'm really excited about that, and just some things we want to do in the future. And I'm going to present, the Warhawk 100, which is going to be the name of basically our booster club. We're going to present that that night and just get the community, familiar with our faces. I want to introduce our coaching staff. I think they have been top notch and so professional and so loyal. I want to kind of use it as a night to brag on them and let the community get to know them. But it'll be a fun night, and then we haven't talked about it much, but we might have a little pitch and wedge chip shot contest on the field where you can buy into. It's going to be a great night, Dusty, man. People are going to be getting to know each other, getting to know our team, and it'll be good.
Just know I won't be here for that, so the field is safe, at least for me.
Yes, yeah.
Coach, can't thank you enough for your time, and looking forward to seeing these scrimmages and hearing more about this team as we kind of get closer and closer to the February start date.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
There you have it, Chase. Your favorite sport in all the planet, baseball. Are you looking forward to it? Are you fired up? Are you ready?
I mean, I'll look at it like every week about see how they're doing, but not really, I'm fired up. We got a new coach. Got a kid from K-State. We're going to win we might, catch us in Omaha this year, maybe.
Easy. First things first, we got to raise some money. October 16th at Lou Santamont Field, 6 p.m., Whiskey and Warhawks. You can purchase tickets. It's on the X. I've tweeted it out on Warhawk_report. Get your tickets, $75. You will get to meet with head coach Ford Pemberton, the staff, and have VIP area access to the inter-squad scrimmage.
Very cool.
It just sucks that it's a Thursday night and we can't be there live there, Chase.
No shot we could be there.
Whiskey, Warhawks, and podcasting.
Dude, honestly, that sounds like that might get me into baseball right there.
We should make it happen then, Chase.
No, not this year, maybe next year.
Well, while you contemplate it, we'll do it again later this week.
Yes, sir.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.